Welcome. Welcome to the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference. Now say this with me. Bounce back. Yes, I can. Unstoppable. Unstoppable, free and fearless. Unshakable.
Bounce back, bounce back. Unbreakable, unshakable, nothing stops you in your track. Bounce back, bounce back. Uplifted, inspired, feel your positive unpack.
Never, ever. Never giving up. Encouraged, uplifted, inspired, empowered, motivated.
Bounce back, bounce back. Unbreakable, unshakable, nothing stops you in your track. Bounce back, bounce back. Uplifted, inspired, feel your positive unpack.
Yes, yes, yes I can. Yes I will. Yes I believe. Yes, yes, yes. Heart, be still.
Bounce back, bounce back. Unbreakable, unshakable, nothing stops you in your track. Bounce back, bounce back. Uplifted, inspired, feel your positive unpack.
Bounce back. Bounce back. Bounce back. Bounce back.
I'm going to go ahead and get our first presenter lined up and ready to roll. So with that being said, I would like to welcome the amazing Olu. So Olu is a business coach and business fundamentals, and she's a 2 times, not 1 time, but 2 times #1 international best-selling author, a launch strategist, and a Kajabi expert. She works with service professionals to create a strong brand for presence online using funnels and automation for digital courses, membership sites, website sales pages. The girl's amazing. Lead magnets and all geared to help people make bank while they sleep. I like to call that Z money. So without further ado, I want to welcome Miss Olu.
Thank you so much, Sabria. What an introduction. A year ago, that would have been impossible. And I wasn't at Dr. Stem's program, but I did meet her this year. And, immediately I was able to see that this is somebody who is very committed, very dedicated, and she's so passionate about what she does. So I had the opportunity to work with her and, help her put her website up and her membership site. And it was amazing. I thought I was driven, but when I saw the content that Dr. Stem has, I was like, whoa, this woman is something else. And she's so humble with everything she does. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm really grateful to be here. I've already been introduced. And when Dr. Stem told me that she would like me to speak, I felt very honored because, like I said, this time last year would have been in my dreams, to even have an invitation like this. But maybe a little bit more about myself so that you can have an understanding. I told her, I said, I don't have any business topic to teach, but I think I'd like to share a bit of my story in that 15 minutes or so, because I know there will be somebody out there who just needs to be encouraged to actually take the next step and know that there's actually an opportunity for every one of us to bounce back from whatever. So in 2015, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. That's where I'm from, and that's where I live. Some of the challenges I have with running an online business is power, because sometimes the electricity just goes out for no reason. So we have to depend on generators. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a talk like this and zap, I'm just gone, and everybody's waiting for me to come back. So it hasn't been easy because of some of the challenges of living in a developing country, but I was able to find my feet and not give up. And that's what I want to encourage us today, that regardless of whatever situation you find yourself, don't give up, because there's always an opportunity for you to bounce back, and it won't give you notice before it comes. The opportunity will just present itself, and if you're available, you are able to take it up. So in 2015, my husband and I, we put all our life savings in a business. It was a British school that we established in my country, and it was going quite good for about 18 months. We had consultants. I could say I was the one who lost the family money, because my husband had said to me, he said, "You don't know so much about this industry." And I said, "Oh, don't worry, we will get consultants, we will get people who will work with us. I just want to do it." And 18 months later, everything was down the drain. We were homeless. We had no savings. Our children were in private school. We had to, if not for a relationship with some of the school owners that would give us some time to pay, it was really difficult. But I decided to go online and start looking for what to do. And that was how I found myself running a fashion store. We made some good money from there, started with a loan. And then I found the passion to actually start designing things, websites. I was doing it for my school. I never hired that part out, so I started to develop it. And then I found a platform called Kajabi. And, the rest is history, as they say. But, I want to say that regardless of what you are passing through, regardless of what you've passed through, you can always rise, again. But it takes courage, because it's very easy for us to give up along the line. It's very easy to say, "Oh, I can't do this anymore." I remember the times when I had, some of us have never even heard of the Infinix phone. That was what I was using online then. And it was cracked. I didn't have a ring light. I didn't have so much bright light around me. And I would just sit in meetings with my small phone. And, they'll say, "Hey, we can't see you, for me." And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm here. But today that's history, because I never gave up. I'm not saying it was easy. I didn't have so much encouragement apart from my husband. But then, in fact, I was afraid to speak up, because I felt my accent was funny. I was like, who is going to understand what I'm saying? Until, I was able to hire a coach. And she said to me, she said, "Are you speaking Greek to people who speak English? You are speaking English. I hear you. We all hear you. Why are you having these, mindset issues?" And that was when I knew the power of the mind. The mind is so powerful, and what you feed it is what you can get out of it. So if you tell yourself, "Oh, this cannot happen," your mind will register that it can't happen, and you won't take any step to make it happen. So that's a brief story of where I'm coming from. And I also want to encourage those who haven't even started their business, or who are still at the infancy stage. It just starts with one step. It starts with you being bold. And that's why I keep going back to courage. You just go back to call up that courage inside of you. You are somebody special. Somebody somewhere in the world needs your expertise. That is the truth. No matter what level you think something that comes easily to you, somebody else is finding it so difficult. And they are willing to pay you good money for you to take that burden off them. But if you don't even mention what you say, if you don't show up, if you don't talk about the fact that this is what I do, they can never find you. I used to sit and imagine that they would, once I put it in my bio and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing," people would just flock to me. But then I quickly realized, no, it doesn't work that way. I also thought, okay, if I build a website, if I put it in many groups, if I let people know this is what I'm doing, but I assure you that it does not work. It all starts with yourself. It starts with how you believe, what you believe, and that first step. That cannot be overemphasized. And whatever skills you have, I discovered that when people say they have imposter syndrome, it's likely because they are not so sure of, their skills, their level of being able to take ownership of that skill. So I encourage you, if you have a skill, if you are feeling unsure, why not get some training in that area? Research into it. Google is your friend. Those were my best friends, by the way. Google, YouTube, those were my besties, because I couldn't even afford to pay a coach. But, I mean, it has to come from within. Okay, somebody likes the music. So it has to come from within. We really have to be bold. The world actually needs us. Our children need us to see us stepping up so that they can take after us. A lot of women are looking up to us. They want to say, you've heard a bit of my story. I'm sure you would look at it and say, hey, if she can do it, then I definitely can do it. I never considered myself a speaker. From when I was even afraid for people to hear my voice. But there I was invited to speak I just got a random mail towards the end of the year, and they invited me to speak at an event. And I was like, did you mean me? I wrote back to her. I said, did you check the email address well? Because I'm not so sure. I haven't spoken to anyone. She said, yeah, you. I saw you in the Kajabi group. And I was like, okay. And that was how it all just began. I almost gave up, by the way, in September last year, because I found it very difficult to be paid. It was really difficult because, the banking system here, the payment gateways and all of that. So my husband said to me, he said, look, if you really want to do this, I think you should open up a company in the US. I had an opportunity when I visited some years ago, but my friend was working in Wells Fargo, and she told me, I said, no, I don't need it, because I never even knew I would be an entrepreneur online. So I had to find my way and just make sure it was registered. And the week the documentation was coming, and probably this is the last, and I guess my time is almost up, a lady had reached out to me, and we had a call about an hour long. A few days later, she said, okay, can we start mapping things out and discuss pricing? I gave her a very low price, because I really usually when you pay me, the payment gateway fails. And so you have to still call your bank to credit me or something. So I said to her, I said, oh, by the way, I'm expecting my documentations for my company, so I should be able to open an account in about a week. So if you try this payment gateway and it fails, don't bother, we'll wait for that week. We'll continue with your work, and then we'll wait for the bank papers to be ready. And she said, okay. But she went immediately and tried to make the payment, and it failed. And then she sent me a message and said, I think you are a scam. My husband thinks you are a scam. By the way, we are watching you. We have all your information. If anything goes wrong, I've called the bank, I've done this. And I was weak, because it was like the beginning of my business. And here was the largest discouragement I've ever had. I wept all day. I wept all night. I went on my page and I said, all the years I've spent online, I've never been this destabilized. And my friends came out. I call them my friends now, because we all met online, but somehow we've been able to form that connection, and they all came out and said they would like to meet her. I said, no, I don't even want to have anything to do with her. But by the time I woke up the next day, because I told my husband when I was going to bed, I said, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. It doesn't matter to me anymore, because this is the highest level of, disgrace that I have ever received in my entire life. And he said to me, you mean all you've worked for is going down the drain? So what are you teaching your daughters? But I went to bed, and when I woke up, I just decided, I said, okay, I think it's because I'm not owning my power. I'm not stepping up. And it was like a new person. My papers came in a few days later. I opened up my membership. The first person who would take that membership was a lady, or is a lady in the UK. And, when she said, where are you from? I told her, and she was like, oh my God, are you from this tribe in Nigeria? And I was like, yes. She said, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm a teacher. I have many Nigerians here with me, and they are such wonderful people. And I was elated. And at that time in her business in Kajabi, she had made about £1,000 or so. And we worked together. We're still working together. And by July, she was doing her taxes, and her accountant sent her some documentation, and she sent it to me. She said, "Funmi, can you believe this?" And when I checked it, she had made over £120,000, all from the funnels that I made for her. But because people were paying offline, there was no way to keep track of it. And she was blown away. I was blown away. And she said to me, "Send me your PayPal account. This cannot go uncelebrated." And we are still the best of friends today. So if I didn't, if I woke up still feeling the same and I had given up, her business would probably have been struggling, because she had tried different people and she just couldn't find a headway. So I hope this encourages somebody. I hope you would never give up. And I have something I wrote that I'll just like to read in conclusion. And it says, "Don't care who is doing better than you, because you are doing better than you were last year. It is you against you, not you against any other person." So stay committed, stay present, stay full, and this is your time to shine. Thank you.